Oh, and Sheriff, where do the girls from around here go at night?
The girls!
Can I help you?
Coffee.
There's no coffee here in Nilbog. It's the devil's drink.
Eggs. Bacon.
Are you crazy, boy? We're vegetarians here in Nilbog. Didn't you know that? Here's some Nilbog milk. Special milk. High in vitamin content. Here is free.
Free?
Of course it's free. We love tourists here in Nilbog. Try some, boy. And have some of your friends drink some also.
Thank you.
Do you feel all right?
Yeah.
Hey, you.
Yeah?
Your friend has a message for you.
Who? Arnold?
Yeah, that's him. He said to meet him in the house that looks like an old church.
Okay.
You can go through the woods. It's only about a mile away.
Warning. This show is intended for a mature audience only and may contain harsh language, sexual references, and derogatory terms. Listener discretion is advised.
Tuesday Movie Night, the show where we watch bad movies so you don't have to. I'm your host, Dale Campbell. This is season 2, episode 8. Watching bad movies so you don't have to. Thank you so much for joining me. This week, we are joined by a very special guest. The one, the only, I hope the only, the spectacular Michael Segev joins us on the Terrible Tuesday Movie Night.
I'm glad to hear I'm your only fiancé.
You know, that's a vote of confidence right there, isn't it?
Very, makes me very confident.
And you hot confident, Eden. Well, also, behind the scenes, I'm live switching this show today, so there might be some technical bumpers. I have not had to call a show live for a very long time, so there you go. This week, we are watching a long-awaited movie, I think in my podcasting journey. We are watching Troll 2, there's only one. Troll 2 from 1990, the American-Italian... It turns out this movie, that's a whole other story, we'll get into that in a second. 1990, quote-unquote, horror movie.
It's definitely
It's
horrendous.
Horrendous. Definitely horrendous. Not to get confused with the 2020 cult classic Trolls 2: World Tour, the kids movie. Not also probably horrendous, but not to get confused with that one. So, before we get into any analysis of the movie, right? We God, I didn't come to that. We do this bit on Terrible Tuesday Movie Night where we play a very visual trailer on an audio podcast. So I have for you the incredible audio that makes no sense from the Troll 2 movie trailer.
Or I could just describe the beginning of it.
We'll get to that.
It's a very easy beginning to describe if you've seen other movies.
This movie, okay, I will say, before we get into the trailer, we'll get into that. This is going to be a very long episode, so make sure you grab your popcorn, or really not, just depending on how you feel, and come on back, because we are in for the long haul this episode. I feel this episode is going to run long. There is so much to fit into this. There's no way we're sticking to the half hour.
I have a lot of notes.
You have Adam did take a lot of notes. All right, let's do the business. No, let's not do the business. Podcast. Let's do the stuff that I am contractually obligated to do before we get into any discussion. Let's get this trailer on the road.
You're late.
Sorry we had a small mishap.
Here are the keys. Here are ours.
Have a nice stay in Millbog.
You in our city.
Still telling the same story, Josh?
Powers of evil are very strong here. I must leave.
Goblins don't exist. Goblins don't exist.
And remember, they're eating her! Then they're going to eat me! So dizzy.
Kids with a sweet tooth like yours love ice cream.
Delicious. And purified.
The sacred power of the magic stones!
I need help, Grandpa!
No!
So, that clarifies what the movie is, right? That tells us everything we need to know about this movie.
Princess Bride.
Okay. Normally I do first impressions at this point in the movie, but then we've got so much to cover that I have to get the business out of the way. Okay, Troll 2, pardon me, I keep wanting to say Trolls 2. Troll 2, released 12th of October 1990. Shout out to the director, Claudio Fragasso, who, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this or not. I'm assuming it's male. I don't know if you noticed this in the credits, but they went under a synonym of Drake Floyd for this movie.
Drake Floyd.
Drake Floyd, yes.
Sounds like a basketball player. Or a rapper.
Or a rapper. Well,
please welcome to the stage, Drake Floyd.
So shout out to Claudio Fragasso, who did another movie, by the way, who's done several movies. They've done 30, including a movie called, and I kid you not, it's called, I can't believe I'm reading this out loud. They were called Three Musketeers, but there were only 4. That tells you everything you need to know.
Are they all similar style movies?
I think so. The most notable movie I think I saw was The Best Worst Movie Ever, which is surprising that I haven't covered on that on this show. So, there you go. Main actors and actresses, you've got Michael Paul Stevenson in this credited as Michael Stevenson, as Joshua Waits, he's the boy.
Fun fact, he's 44.
He's 44 now?
He is 44 now.
Whoa. How old am I? Don't answer that question. George Hardy as Michael Waits.
My legal team has advised me not to comment.
Thank you. It is George Hardy's first ever movie, is this movie. Margot Prey as Diana Watts, she's the mum. This is also her first movie, but she was only ever in one other movie called Gunpoint from the same year. So she did 2 movies in 1990, and then she's like, this acting thing, not for me. Holly Waits, played by Corey Young. This is also her first movie also. Are we surprised by all of these debut performances?
No.
No? Okay. Dude, you've got to eat the microphone. Not literally. Robert Orsbury as Grandpa Seth. Now, I'm gonna shock your world, right? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
First and only ever movie is this movie.
Believable.
Grandpa Seth. Best part of this movie. Well, we'll get to that in a sec.
I would believe you if you told me that it's all the actors' first and only movie.
Somehow, no. Deborah Reed as Credence Leonore Kilgood. And it's also her debut movie as well. So, there you go. Plot synopsis. A young boy is terrified when a family vacation haunted by vile plant-eating monsters from his worst nightmare. The spectator of his deceased grandfather assists to attempt to save the beloved family. Also, there are no trolls in this movie, only goblins. Okay, now, the plot of this movie. Let's start there. The plot of this movie is very similar to other movies. Hang on, no, as a whole, this movie is very similar to other movies. There are a lot of similarities.
It is. There's popcorn involved in the watching of the movie.
There is. But this movie does borrow from... It steals, pretty much. It plagiarizes from other movies.
Including Harry Potter, which was made after it.
Wait, so this was an inspiration for Harry Potter?
No, Harry Potter was an inspiration for this.
So, you brought up a very good point of the Princess Bride comparison with the whole storybook motif. What other movies did you notice that were being used?
Just Princess Bride.
Just Princess Bride?
Yeah.
You didn't get the whole plot is basically a cursed version of National Lampoon's Vacation.
I've never seen that.
Oh, you've never seen that movie? No. Okay, well, that sounds like a you problem. I'm just kidding.
You can add that to the list now.
I can add that to the list. Actually, it's a good movie, so... and, by the way, we are watching...
Good Tuesday movie night.
Good Tuesday movie night. April Fool's Day will just be me reviewing a good movie. Excuse me, but...
Good Friday movie night.
Friday movie night.
Coming to you in April.
Let's not do that. Don't promise things that I can't deliver. So... But also, this is an alleged sequel, right? But I just...
It's a sequel? What's
the... It's not a sequel, though. Troller 1, apologies, is this movie. Like, we just watched the same movie twice, pretty much. The Trolls 1 is literally them going on vacation, getting eaten by actual trolls, not goblins. Sorry, they went to Neilbog, which is goblin spelled backwards, Dad. So they just basically copy and pasted this movie twice. So I'm gonna start with you. What are your initial thoughts on this movie?
My initial thought when I saw the first scene was, this looks very like a very similar beginning to Princess Bride.
Right.
With the grandfather reading a book.
Right.
And
then we got further into the movie. And then we
got further into the movie, and my second thought was, this scene reminds me a lot of the eel scene in Princess Bride. So again.
So before we get silly, because I want to go through all of the ridiculous dialogue in this movie, and there was a lot of stupid dialogue. This movie is very poorly written, but I don't know whether that's a harsh criticism or not, considering I think the original screenplay was written in Italian. But but I think that doesn't make it good. Like they had two screenwriters, an actual script writer, so they didn't fix the Google Translate. Although this was before Google Translate. Also, how jarring is the scene where they go, "Ooh, it's here on the map." This was 1990. This was before GPS, this sort of thing. Anyway, so the grandpa. We have to talk about the grandpa because the grandpa is the plot of this movie. Without the grandpa, this movie arguably doesn't exist.
Yes.
Right. So he literally drives this movie, and he's dead. So I don't know how I feel about a movie that has a dead person driving the main plot of the movie for an hour and 34 minutes. Which, by the way, this movie is an hour and 34 minutes.
There's lots of movies with dead people driving the main plot of the movie.
Is there?
Sure.
But they're good movies, probably. They're not... But also, he's a dead sentient being, right? That has a plan for everything, right? So, he couldn't figure out the layout of this 3-bedroom, 2-bath, hillbilly house that they went on vacation to. He sees the future and knows what to do with the future, but oh no, I accidentally transported into Holly's room.
Just
instead.
backtracking to movies that
follow
dead people.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, This Is It, follows a dead person in the main plot of the movie. Just put that out there.
Oh, by the way, speaking of which, did you know there's a new Whitney Houston movie coming out this Boxing Day? I think it doesn't have Whitney Houston in it. It's like a Whitney Houston biopic, but
no, because she's dead also. She's dead also.
Yeah.
Sorry to break it to you.
Anywed I said this
Moving
Boxing
on.
Day. I said this Boxing Day. This episode's going to come out in like 5 months. Even though I told you not to make any dated references. That's funny, the Michael Jackson bit. Funny from you. But I don't know how I feel about Grandpa Seth driving the main plot of this movie. It's just everyone else is stupid. I don't like movies that have main characters that are just
dead,
dumb, or dead and dumb. I just can't get behind it. What did you think about Grandpa Seth? What's your hot take?
I didn't think he was the main driver of the movie.
Okay, please explain.
I enjoyed Joshua's driving of the movie also.
Yeah, I see that. But but also Joshua driving the movie came from his interactions with Grandpa Seth. Right?
Not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly?
If Joshua wasn't in the movie, then no one would be seeing Grandpa Seth.
They could have written it so Holly saw Grandpa Seth.
She did see Grandpa Seth.
That whole scene, by the way, was just Holly's scenes. Let's talk about Holly's scenes. Let's jump around. There's so much to unpack, and we'll get to. Eden took very detailed notes, and we'll get to that in a sec. Holly's scenes, they were creepy. They were overtly creepy. And I think that, I don't know whether that's just a stereotype thing that they were playing into this teenage girl stereotype working out, so she's going to have her alleged boyfriend creep on her in the window, and then have him come on this vacation in his own caravan.
With his friends.
With his friends. With his boys.
With his boys.
Did you... I felt empowered when I watched Holly do her pump up scene in the mirror. Did you like that?
Yes. I felt very empowered.
I'm gonna go down to that caravan and it's gonna be me or your boys, your tiny boys or your little boys. What did she say? What did she say? Was it little or tiny?
Little.
Little. Okay. Tiny boys. My favourite Elton John song is Tiny Boys. So, the plot of this movie is fine. I don't think it could have existed without Grandpa Seth.
Well, it couldn't have existed without any of the characters, really. Well,
sure it could have.
Well, it couldn't have existed without Grandpa Seth or Joshua.
Right. Yeah,
Or the dad.
The dad. Oh my god. The dad. Hey Johnny, we're going to be out of town for a month. Do you mind taking care of that business? Like, that's ominous. They didn't explain whatever that was. The thing about this too, they never said what the characters actually do. Like, we never actually got to learn about the characters themselves.
But it's not important to the storyline.
Yeah, but... True.
The important part to the storyline is that they survive being eaten by goblins, not trolls.
Not trolls. Goblins.
Even though the movie's called Trolls 2.
No, it's called Troll.
Troll 2.
Singular. But the mum didn't survive. Did you see her at the end? She was full front naked on the kitchen table. Spoilers.
No, I ignored that part.
Come on, that was the best part.
No, popcorn was the best part.
Popcorn! My favourite part about that popcorn scene was that royalty-free version of "You Can Leave Your Hat On." I don't know what that was. So, what's your favourite part about that popcorn scene? That popcorn scene. Oh, death by popcorn.
I just want to be in a bed filled with popcorn one day. I don't know, that's a life goal of mine now.
Well,
not in that sort of way, but just
no more popcorn, and then he spits out popcorn.
What is in a movie cinema filled with popcorn? It's like a ball pit for people who love popcorn.
Ew, gross.
No, like you know the ball pits that
you
can go to. That have all the colourful
balls,
plastic balls.
Yeah. You can say that on the show. This show has an explicit rating. You can say the word balls. It's fine.
It's like one of those, but with popcorn.
That's gross, though.
Is it though?
Yeah, because you'll have other people's like
popcorn
germs and
but you just
areas touching the popcorn.
You just have your own popcorn pit.
That's more advisable. But if you fill up the whole cinema, you're gonna be sharing all sorts of whatevers with 200 other people.
Just hire out the cinema on your own.
I don't think I can afford Patreon.com/Dale Campbell. I don't think I can afford that cleanup fee after the fact.
You don't need to clean it up. You just eat the whole you just eat all the popcorn.
That's a lot of popcorn. If you think about that, a movie theatre, we've gone so far off track. A movie theatre filled with popcorn, right? It's 200 square meters, right? No. How big is a movie? How
many
big is a
popcorn
movie?
kernels can you fit in a movie cinema?
Hey Google. I've just activated everyone's Google accounts. Now, right. But what flavor popcorn would you have?
Salted caramel.
Salted caramel.
Yeah.
Okay. Salted caramel popcorn. But
Or just normal OG buttered popcorn.
OG buttered popcorn. I think the OG buttered popcorn would work because then if you're in salted caramel popcorn, right?
Yeah.
You would get stuck. You wouldn't be able to get out.
How did he die?
That's how that guy died. Did you like that girl's dress? That girl's dress is very well designed. It had a cornhole holster and everything. That scene literally lasted 5.5 minutes. I am glad that movie, that Trolls 2, had one sex scene, alleged sex scene. We're assuming they had sex, right?
No, they just had popcorn. They just bonded over corn. They just bonded over corn.
They didn't even make out.
They just
Right.
No, they just bonded over corn.
They just munched on a corn cob together. No, that's not a euphemism or anything. They quite literally munched on a cob together. Ew. I feel dirty. That corn holster though. And she like got up on the bed and she's just like, check out my corn holster.
Baby, you can eat my corn any day.
Oh dear Lord. But also, it didn't have the weird thing is that also the other plot device is all the food had this weird green, red, and blue undertones. I get the green because they're all quote unquote vegetarians, but what's with the green and what's with the blue and the red food coloring? Is it the fact they ran out of green food coloring?
It's a Christmas movie.
No! Trolls 2, the Christmas movie. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Could you imagine if you swapped out, speaking of the popcorn scene, again, I'm not leaving this scene, if they had like, all I want for Christmas is you instead of you can leave your hat on? That would be great. Anyway.
Back to the food.
Back to the movie. Back to the food thing, yeah.
They in all the food scenes, no one actually bites the food.
Let's talk about this.
It makes me very sad.
There was a lot of food wasted. You think the $1,000 budget just went into food?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the food actually. That jamboree scene.
They didn't eat any of the food.
They didn't eat any of the food. The jamboree scene where they all went.
And even when they do eat it, they don't bite it. They just pretend to chew.
And naturally bring up a good point. Say what you said to me about particularly when he was in the cop. No, the bologna sandwich was even worse.
He didn't even eat it.
Go off.
He was just chewing.
He was chewing nothing. But yeah, he was just like, this delicious burger, hump. Like, he put it to the side of his mouth. Oh my God. And they do the same, like, particularly the bologna sandwich scene at the end with Gilgood or whatever her name was. Like, they shouldn't have been scared because he never actually bit into it.
10 out of 10 for acting.
Actually impressed. That is probably a good skill, right?
Chewing. Chewing is a good skill to have.
Thank you.
You've got to bite the food before you chew it.
Life tips with Ed, spin-off podcast coming soon. It's 1 minute shorts on a YouTube channel. Life hack.
Bite the food before you chew.
Alright, right. Let's talk about the script.
The script.
Let's talk about
There's
the
a
script.
lot.
Do you want to talk about the script or do you want to go through your notes first before we end it on the...
Let's talk about the script.
Let's talk about the script. Okay, so the script. Oh my God. This script is just the best because like you've got such great lines like the neighbor, like Arnold and what's her face, that random girl who we never knew the name of. running into the...
I'm your neighbor.
I am your neighbor. When they run to the neighbor's house, she like...
This is my house.
This comes out of nowhere off the balcony. This is my house. Oh, same house though. That house brought some banger lines. They're gonna eat her. And then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god. Oh no! When the mother's trying to comfort Michael, also. How's that line go?
Something that the grandfather being dead, and
yeah, it was hard on your dad.
It's hard on everyone,
particularly
me, his daughter, and your dad,
and Holly, and you also. I'm just trying to think. Oh, yeah, in the car ride.
Joshua, sing us a song. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is like a dream. And why did you stop? Oh,
I just wanted to hear you sing.
No. Better than me rapping. But let's reenact it like it was in the movie, right?
Can you rap row, row, row your boat?
No.
Please?
No.
If I pay you for it?
Patreon.com/downmerch. But let's do it like they did in the movie, right? So this is a professional full-length edited feature-length film, but they decided to leave this in. Ready? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. You do the row, row, row your boat. This is live workshop. You do the row, row, row your boat bit when I get to the gently down the stream, right? Okay, cool. Let's go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Row, row.
No, we're not meant to be in time. That's the joke. You ruined the joke. See, you are a professional, right? Everything in this movie probably sent you AWOL because you're a professional lighting and sound designer. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this bit, right? And it's going to be great. We're in the same room, so we're staring each other down. Okay, here we go. You ready?
No.
Okay. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. My voice is breaking. There's no coffee here in Nalbog. It's the devil's drink. Eggs. Ah! Oh, that was a point I brought up in the movie. You're crying. This is a point I brought up in the movie. How did they make cakes? There's no eggs, there's no flour, there's no sugar. All they have is lumpy vitamin D milk and butter.
They're imported.
From where?
Out of town? That's what imported usually means, that it's from out of town.
Yeah, but from which town?
The nearest town with a bakery and eggs and everything.
But the devil's drink.
He says while drinking coffee.
This is thank you.
From a Starbucks cup.
From a Starbucks cup. And that's the devil's drink. What was I going to say? Oh, that whole scene, that whole opening scene that you listened to at the beginning, right, is a prime example of a scene going on too long in this movie. Like, that was a 3-minute scene, and it did not need to be a 3-minute scene, right?
It needed to be a 3-minute scene.
It did not need to be a 3-minute scene. Here, boy, have some milk. Try some, boy, and have some of your friends try some also.
Have some milk. Some of your friends try some also,
boy. What are your favourite lines of this movie?
Pass.
Oh, come on.
There were none that I remembered enough to.
Oh, come on! There's such good lines. You must have one.
Probably this is my house.
This is I'm your neighbor.
I'm your neighbor.
Yeah, I'm your neighbor. What was I going to say? I'm just reading some of these perfectly good lines. Can you pull up your notes? We're going to go through Eden's notes in a moment. Half man, half plant, a goblin's favourite food. There's a couple of other ones here. Oh yeah, this part's a perfect example of the bad script writing. The dad goes, "I never liked that kid, I never did," and Holly goes, "I'm the one who has to like him, Dad. Me alone." And the mom goes, "Stop it, please. Sing that song I like so much." You can leave your hat on. What's for breakfast? Nothing. I'm hungry enough to eat a horse. I've been fasting for 2 days.
Sounds like me in the morning.
Love that.
What's for breakfast?
What's for breakfast? I've been fasting for a whole 2 days.
I've been fasting for a whole night.
For a whole 12 hours. Oh, the ice cream scene. When they were going through Vegetarians Anonymous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that whole cult bit is when it was great.
Have some ice cream.
Have some ice cream. It's delicious. Okay. Talking to the microphone. Eden's notes. Let's go.
The goblins.
The goblins.
The goblins.
Yep.
They look a lot like Gringotts goblins from Harry Potter.
Even though that movie were not to come out for another... No, wait. Oh, another 10 years, yeah.
Yeah. But they still copied Harry Potter.
They still copied Harry Potter. Yep. Next up.
The slime.
Oh, yeah.
Look like something out of Nickelodeon. Teen Choice Awards.
And the winner of the King Kids Awards is...
Joshua.
Joshua! No, it's the mum. The Joshua never got eaten, though, right? The mum won the Teen Choice.
No, but there was a scene where he had slime on his face, didn't he?
No, I don't think so. I know Arnold did. Oh my god.
There was just slime everywhere.
There was just slime everywhere. Do you think it was actually slime?
Yes.
Okay. I will say the makeup in
I'd like to hope they made their own slime rather than CGI slime.
It did look real. I will give it that. Alright, what else have you got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
I will say this. Okay, we gotta round out of here because this episode's gone on for like 5,000 years. It feels like, although not really. This has been fun. I've enjoyed this. This movie's not good. Like, sure, we laughed and we had a fun time, but in all honesty, this movie's not good.
It's not horror. Maybe comedy, yeah?
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you think if this was touted as a comedy movie, do you think it would have been different?
No. But it is funny, though.
It is funny, though. But if they put comedy on the thing, you at least would change your expectations, right?
Right.
You'd be like, oh, you know, cool, we're in for a goofy movie rather than a serious horror movie. But, okay, they had one horror bit, right, where they were chainsawing Arnold, but they never actually showed the chainsawing.
He was a tree.
He was a tree.
People chainsaw trees all the time.
Yeah, but... and it's horrible to watch. So there you go. There's so much to unpack here. The music alone, me alone, it was just
your favorite part.
Garbage. I know it's royalty-free stuff, which I think they had the budget for royalty-free, so I'm guessing that's why they decided to stick with the royalty-free thing. Right.
Right.
Sure. Oh, when Joshua was left to make a decision the first time I go around when they had the feast when they first arrived in Bog, his option, you've got 30 seconds to stop them eating, and he wasted 22 seconds walking around the table looking at everyone's food. But the fact that
they weren't going to bite anyway because they don't bite the food
at all.
They eat. They just pretend to chew.
That whole scene. I wish I captured it. I wish I watched it on my computer so I could capture more audio clips. But yeah, the jamboree scene. That scene went on for like 10 of the 6 hours of this movie. And then, like, it was so creepy. Which I know is the point. They did something right in that scene.
Reminded me of a Jewish party.
Oh, I would hope not. Are they cult-like over there?
No comment.
But yeah, I think I've said my piece on Troll 2. It's National Lampoon's Holiday Vacation with goblins, not trolls, with a plot device from Princess Bride.
Yes. And Harry Potter.
And Harry Potter. You're going back to this Harry Potter bit. Any final words of thought that you want to say here before we move on?
I would watch this movie again.
Why? Why? No, that's a serious question. What would drive you to watch this movie again?
Even though the production quality wasn't great, it was still mildly enjoyable.
Right? Was it?
It was.
What made it mildly enjoyable?
Just being able to laugh at it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I also did laugh. I will say, but I think I laughed. I didn't laugh with the movie. I laughed at the movie.
Yeah, laughing at the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it again. This is
It's
definitely.
like
You go.
it's like when your friend falls and you laugh at them.
Over and over and over again after an hour and a half of constantly falling. Excuse me. See, I'm bored. I'm bored of this movie. I'm bored of this episode.
Okay, good night.
Good night. No, but so you think it's just because it's got that cult of personality to it?
Yeah.
Out of the two movies, because this does give me the Room kind of style of filmmaking. Which one are you more inclined to return to? Are you more inclined to return to this or The Room?
I think they're both in the same category for me.
Can't roll my eyes loud enough. Why? No. This movie is bunzo. The Room at least kept you on your toes. More so than this. I have watched The Room for this show, but okay. Alright. Context for Terrible 2 Scene Movie Night. I hated The Room when I first watched it. Right?
But now you love it.
And now I love it. So I don't know whether and we now watch The Room every year. I've watched The Room every year since I've reviewed it back in 2014. I think I reviewed that movie. God, I'm old. But that's the thing. Like it took me a solid 2 years and 2 additional viewings to come around on that movie.
Right.
I don't know whether I can come around on this movie or not.
Mm-hmm. It's like when you meet someone
Go on.
and you're like, oh, I don't like this person, but then you spend a lot of time with them, and then you like them.
Yeah, but they're not horrible people. I would like to imagine.
No.
Like this is horrendous. Like, I could go like idiot.
Maybe if you spent more time with this movie.
I don't think I want to. Would you want to spend more time with this movie?
Wouldn't be my first choice, but I
Right.
would watch it again.
It's goblins spelled backwards. All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. I think we're gonna move on to our official ratings. So we score every movie here at Terrible Tuesday Movie Night out of 10. Guests go first. Eden, I'm scared. Thank fuck I'm sitting down. Because what are you going to give this movie out of 10?
I would give it a solid 6.5.
What in the world? Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Right. So, out of all the movies I've watched so far, now the point of this podcast for me is I'm critiquing these movies, or I'm attempting to critique these movies, right? So, and I kind of have to think about what I rate these movies, particularly later on in this season, in comparison to other movies, right? So if I rated Hercules in New York a 5, like if that average movie is a 5, right? I can't give this more than a 5. If that's the baseline, I actively cringed at this movie more than I did at Hercules, right? So, and then Cinderella I gave a 3 because that's just a pointless movie. This movie had a point. This movie served a purpose. So, but was the purpose under-delivered? Yeah, probably. I can't, honestly, this is on the same... I would rather this movie serve no purpose than the purpose it did. I'm going to give it a 3. I do not like this movie. But I suppose it had... I didn't want to actively turn it off either, which is, I suppose, something. I think I still would have gotten through this movie a lot if I was watching it on my own. But I think watching it with other people did heighten it a little bit.
Did you say you fell asleep the first time you tried to watch it?
No, I've never seen this movie. That was... God, what was that?
You said you've seen the popcorn scene.
I've seen the popcorn scene. And I fell asleep in the popcorn scene.
You fell asleep in the popcorn scene?
Yeah. So... It was that corn holster that did it for me. That's the real reason this movie's getting a 3. So, alrighty. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. This episode went long. But these guest episodes always went long. So, don't be surprised, because there's 2 of us, and we're bantering back and forth. Yay, banter. And then, Segev. Where can people find you on the internet?
They can find me on Instagram.
Whoop. Jesus. You know I'm queuing this show live. They can find you on Instagram, can they?
They can.
You really want FutureDale to edit this bit out, don't you?
Eden_Segev95.
Yay! There you go.
I didn't cheat by looking at my Instagram.
Absolutely not. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. You can support this and everything I do over on my Patreon at patreon.com/Dale Campbell. That's patreon.com/Dale Campbell. You can follow my mini Instagram adventures over on my Instagram at the Dale Campbell. That's TheDaleCampbell. You can join my Discord, bit.ly/Dale Discord. You can also support this by buying my merchandise. They're soon to have my face all over it, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. You can find out more soon. bit.ly/Dale merch, bit.ly/DALEMERCH. Eden, thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me to join you in the viewing of this film.
Exactly. Next week we've got the Adam Sandler cult classic Jack and Jill, but until then, I'm Dale Campbell coming at you.
Good night.
And he's been Ed Segev coming at you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
On this rainy Tuesday.